Alright, hello everybody! Welcome to Damsels and Dice!
Woo, it's a little dicey, but this is
how we roll! 15!
How did I do? I wasn't ready. It's stuck. 4!
This is fine.
It's not gonna be a good day.
I got a natural 20, natural 1, and a 3, so I guess I should roll one to see how we're going to do. Oh,
natural
14! On average. Another natural 20. Oh my goodness, these dice. I got new dice, by the way, as a part of our relative announcements. Not for any particular reason. I saw them. They were $8, and I got three sets for $8. So, rescued them from the shelves, and now we're going to see how they actually perform when put to the test.
Oh.
At any rate, Kinsey's trying a new recording method, so we're going to see whether or not this pans out as well as we hope. She's very proud of it, so, give me a little hand clap down in the comments below, if you feel up to it.
Yeah.
And with that being said, we have in the other announcements. Let's go ahead and jump right on into it.
It's been a whole week. And I graduated, by the way. That's one last thing.
Yes.
I graduated
We have
college.
an official college graduate over here. She is finished and done. Just wash her hands of everything.
I can play D&D full-time now. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Another full-time job. Exactly what I want.
So, Kenzie, real quick. This one, since I got my proficiency back in the wisdom, it's 4 plus 3, which is 7, right? Okay. I got my wisdom proficiency back.
I went back and double-checked her notes, and yes, she is actually proficient in wisdom. It wasn't a mistake on my part, because initially I was like, oh yeah, you're proficient in this, and then I realized, because her class, because she multi-classed, I thought I had made the mistake.
Well, yeah, because I was like, I'd always had it, even before I multi-classed, but then when I multi-classed, she was like, you don't have that, and I was like, but I do have that, I swear. And so I had to go back.
But I'm glad you went back and found that in your notes.
Because I take good notes.
Yes, you do.
You got a good note.
Taking skills. Alrighty, so we were successful last time.
Yes.
I didn't think it would work.
Ooh, the skin of our teeth, bros.
Yeah, it was a little bit intense. The Drow cousins reunited in the swamp town of Willends have been traveling north continuously, meeting various sprites, meeting various entities and individuals along the way, on their quest to liberate the captured sprites from various villages. Upon arriving at their latest city, it's not Pineview, it is Carnum. Upon arriving in the city of Carnum, realized that Lady Leonara Ellaloth was actually trying to begin some kind of fashion trend, and according to some, it was starting to catch on, although it was a little bit unorthodox. They posed as trainers, concocted an entire afternoon of planning, of going into this particular place, of being able to meet the sprites, gain their trust, and by the end of the week, try and rescue all of them. After a tumultuous series of events, after dancing and training, after spells, and a few assassinations, you all managed to escape by the skin of your teeth.
Oh, I killed a few people.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe
You found an unexpected ally among the many, many well-to-do faces, the same masked individual.
We've been calling him Glacier.
We've been calling him Glacier,
I call him Masky.
Anyway, yeah, Masky Glacier. Glacier Masky. However you want to call him. Uttered not a word. And as you guys watched her manor beginning to burn before your eyes, as many of the sprites decided to give the well-to-do a taste of their own medicine. Play with fire, you get burned. Zoom, along with Raymond, rode up with the necessary horses, and you all bolted into the night, carrying the injured and your fellow companions. You managed to just make it out of the city. And as you're riding faster and faster and faster, how long do you ride?
What time is it when we leave about?
It is late. It is very late in the evening.
I'm going to say we ride hard for like a couple of hours. Because, I mean, we want to get away in case she sends people after us. Yeah. So I'm going to say that we get after it for
3 hours.
Several hours. 2 minimum hours. And then maybe slow down and then just kind of keep going a little bit. I'll take a point of exhaustion if it means getting the fuck away from this place.
Yeah. I'm sure Sasana just wants to...
Yeah, I'm sure Sasana just left us in the dust.
Sasana did indeed begin bolting as fast as she could.
Make an animal handling check,
Nora.
Make an animal handling check?
Make an animal handling check.
Oh, come on. I'm gonna put my new found. Okay, maybe it'll give me good luck.
One good time. We are getting off to the races. As you try and keep Sasana close to everyone else, you don't want to go off and leave your cousin. You don't want to leave Zoom. You don't want to leave Raymond or any of the other sprites. However, Sasana has another idea. She has been pent up, cooped up, not been able to run for an entire week. And unruly, she bolts into the night and does not listen to any of your commands for at least an hour.
Bro, she's halfway to the next town.
Okay.
How far away was the next town?
You all didn't really ask any of the locals how far
I
away.
feel like we did. Hold on. Because the next town was Bracklewhite. Something?
Bracklewhite.
Shit, I didn't write down how far away it was. Shit.
All you know is that Bracklewhite was...
I got it somewhere.
Bracklewhite was to the north. Strachan was to the west. Dunatel was also to the west. Tairnsby was east. You all just came from Pineview, which was south, and then Dewhurst was also to the east. This is a very large city. Or comparatively large, and had many trade routes going different directions.
I swear I wrote down how far away this place was. I'm so pissed at myself.
That's fine. We'll find out. I rode for an hour without any control whatsoever. I just give up after a while. I'm like, you know what? It's too late. She deserves it.
I mean, you're already like an hour ahead of us. It's over at that point. Just don't run into anything you can't do.
Make another animal handling check as you're beginning to hear her breathing slightly labor.
12?
It's a reroll.
Doesn't matter. 8.
You manage, after the first hour, to regain. You begin speaking to her. You begin saying that you don't need to go all out just now, that you're going to run her, and that you work on this persuasion, and after 10 minutes of further running, she does slow to a relative canter, and does let you pause and turn around for only 20 minutes before she starts getting antsy again.
Okay. Can I just stop and get her some water? Like, would that quell her for a moment?
Make another animal handling check.
I'll wait for people to show up. 13.
13.
Like, you want some water?
She accepts the water.
Okay.
You pour it into part of a tarp that was affixed to your all's belongings. Managed to pour it. You don't actually have any bowls large enough for her to drink from. And so with a little bit of ingenuity, find some water for her. She's grateful. And after about another 20 or so minutes, you hear the fast hoofs of everyone else.
I love Sasana. Such bullshit. Are you ready to go?
Yes, we need to go. Let's go. I'm done being thirsty.
All right, I'll get back.
I'm just gonna say that every time Talavin is near this horse, she's just like.
She gives you the look back, right back up.
Okay.
She just kind of like shakes her head and she's just like, man, I'm just glad that's not something I gotta fool with. As she pets her very well trained war beast.
Slow only for a minute before going back into that long gallop. After about 2.5, 3 hours, your horses are fairly exhausted after essentially sprinting for an extended period of time. Warrior feels like he could probably still keep going. He's worked on bulking up a bit, however, he has had essentially a week off of rest and recuperation. Hasn't had to carry around any additional manticore wings as of late.
Which we have all of that still with us.
Yeah,
you do.
It's just more distributed now that everybody has horses.
After about that 3 hours, and you all come to a slow canter, and then just a very slow trot to a walk, as your horses work to regulate their breathing, as you all process the magnitude of what you just accomplished and what it could also imply.
My dress, FYI, is in shreds. I'm just trying to like hold it together a little bit, just like I got the cloak on. Just cover up a little bit.
Oh yeah, you are very grateful at that moment that Warrior is as powerful as he is, and that you were essentially leading most of the way. As you look down, and just the force of bending, looking back, checking your surroundings, has partially torn the dress slightly more off. No,
I remember I got hit here, and then I got hit here. I got hit somewhere else, but I don't.
You were hit over your shoulders as one of the beams
and then it got burned over my
hit your shoulders.
Yeah.
Still on smoldering a little bit.
I'm just gonna definitely say that I at one point tried to like grab like a cloak out of it and just kind of like.
When you all slow down, probably for Sasana and Nora, you probably affixed some kind of cloak, managed to tie it around yourself.
Let that like me. Getting out of this dress as soon as I can. I'm burning it.
Raymond trots his horse a little bit further up to you guys. He's like, I'm not actually sure what the plan is. Are we going to keep riding? Are we going to? Are we going to try and stop? What are we doing?
I have all the sprites with me now, don't I? Or did he still have the one?
He still has the satchel of the 8 injured plus some of the others.
Because I know I had several with me. I had Talel with me. I think I had Jin with me. She ended up getting in my saddlebag. And then I ended up having Raven, the one that was on the one dude's shoulder that I saved. And maybe 2 others. The 2 males that were on her shoulders.
Yeah. Robin and Evan.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I had most of them that came with us except for the 8. They rode with me.
As well as Citron.
Yeah, and Citron. So basically I have 10 sprites with me because there are 18 of them currently residing with us.
We counted them before.
Yes.
We have 18 sprites.
Yes. 18.
We're keeping all of them.
I remember 18. Mm-hmm.
We're not keeping all of them.
Of course not.
We would never do that.
Well, we've accomplished our main goal as of now, which is to free the sprites and get away successfully. I don't believe we're being pursued at the moment.
Yeah, at any time while we were watching, did we seem like we were being pursued?
Because we had a head start.
Make a perception check.
Ooh.
As you all are there on the side of the road.
Do you want to do it or do you want?
I got 17.
17.
I don't notice. I'm too worried about my dress falling off.
Glancing backwards, glancing up the road, down the road. You take that moment, turning your elven ears to the wind, to the forest around you. You don't hear anything. the rustles of the forest. And thankfully, a few insects.
Good. Because I was not paying
A
attention.
chirping of crickets and frogs. A few rustles in the underbrush.
Okay.
Do we see anywhere around us, like somewhere to maybe that would be like a good, kind of off the beaten path, but like a good place to like hunker down, maybe?
Make a nature check. Or so, no, this would be survival. Make a survival check.
That's a 15.
Nice. You and Zoom both instinctually look off to the right-hand side of the road that you all have been pounding your hooves against. Well, your horse's hooves, rather. And there aren't mountainous areas. There are some rolling hills, and you see that there is like what looks like some gathering of fallen trees and possibly a very small hill over to one side, over on the right-hand side of the road. You figure you could probably hunker down there, or at least go investigate it and see if that's worth staying.
I will go investigate.
All right, make a perception check. As you dismount, warrior, and head off, Zoom follows right behind you.
15.
15. Okay.
8s are on fire today.
Yeah. 19's for me, but that's whatever. Really good dice. You go and you are glancing around you with your dark vision, with the moon being that same almost crescent shape. Glancing around at the ground, it's a little bit moist, but not as moist as the swamplands which you have left in your tracks.
Thank God.
You see that there are some trees that have fallen almost in this teepee, this kind of triangle-like structure. You probably don't want to be directly underneath of it, but just beyond, there is a clearing near some other fallen debris. You figure if you could set up something, maybe on the other side of the road, to make it look like somebody was over on the other side, maybe it will help deter individuals.
Okay. I will do that as well as help setting up camp.
All right. Everybody guides their horses over and tethers them to some sort of line. I assume that's what you all are doing at the very least.
Well, I mean, I just have like an extra rope after I take the bridle off, and I just tie him to the tree. It's like a long. He can like get the grass around him, but
yeah, there's
not
some
long
patches of
enough
grass.
to interact with any other horses.
As you guys are beginning to set up camp, you hear.
I don't think she caught it. What? Nothing. I just said that the lead line is not long enough to interact with any other horses around. And I tie him on the opposite side, far away from him.
I leave Sussana out. No.
She's not run off!
No, I tie her too, sorry. Just thought it'd be funny.
Welcome to campaign 3, where we have the offspring of.
There's so many babies!
All of our characters' offspring are now together in a new journey. You don't know who the fathers are, but it is what it is.
We're going to ignore this. At that point, as you guys are beginning to set up camp, you all set your various satchels over to the side, prop some of them open. Everyone seems a little bit hesitant on going anywhere, saying anything, until Citron actually clears his throat and tries to get your attention.
I will go over. I was going to take care of Warrior real quick, but I will go over. And I'm carrying my little puppy, and I'm like, oh, I'm so glad you're here with me.
They're all in a satchel. They were with Zoom all in a side satchel. He just shoved all the puppies into a little bag over to the side.
I run over and I get him before I go talk to Citron. Because I'm like,
his fur is all messed up. It looks like he has all of the bed head just all over his entire body.
yes, adorable.
Adorable. Glancing up at whoever's, I guess, nearby. Nora, did you come over? Or?
I will sit down I will not stay standing.
Seems that we're at least a very fair distance away.
For now.
For now. Are we resting? Or should I try and get everyone away?
Are you capable of getting everyone away after
I can.
you're expelled? Okay.
I'm at my limit, but as of this particular point in time, I could either help accommodate and try and disguise us, as well as give us a good night's rest, or leave all of you to your own devices. Feels ungrateful to perform the latter, but the former will have us leave in the morning.
You may as well leave tonight. I believe we'll have sufficient cover as it is. And I'm sure that your people are missing you.
And I'd rather everyone get away while we're still in the clear.
We have ability to send messages now. We can let them know we're all right.
That's alright. I'm sure you probably don't want to stay here longer than need be.
That's just it, isn't it?
Oh, here it comes. No. Gosh darn it. Can't you just save someone's life without them being indebted to you? Ugh.
Oh no.
Just be ungrateful and leave.
Think of all those people that treated you like shit. Pretend we're them.
Yeah.
And just go.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Good one, you guys.
I cast disguise self and turn into Lady Ellaloth. I'm just kidding. I don't have that capability yet.
What do you mean, Citron?
Well, it's relatively clear that we're the only ones remaining from all the others that you saved, in accordance with our own laws and rules. A code. If you save a life is owed. Seeing that none of the others are able to necessarily pay this debt.
Well, I don't...
It is only fitting at the very least.
I was gonna make a joke. I don't think I'm gonna die 316 times.
I would fucking hope not.
Don't need 316 life debts.
That would be terrible.
Regardless, that is what is owed.
Oof.
Is there...
And you see the others, you didn't have a chance to remove any of the others' colors or some of their...
No, I did that for sure. Once we stopped, I did that. Yeah, no, I didn't realize we hadn't gotten all of them off.
You were setting up camp. You didn't have a...
Okay, we can do it now.
It's been a very rapid thing, so all of them are still in the process of bandaging up their arms, fixing... Just trying to set dislocated shoulders, checking out different wounds, elements.
Ugh. Yeah, I don't have any more. I don't have any. I know. I remember I used all my spells, so I don't have anything. I know I used that.
Well, we have the rods and stuff. We have the keys.
Yeah, well, I was with the band. I mean, I'll give them any herbs they ask, anything that they might need, or I can cut up the bandages really small, whatever I can do that way. But yeah, I don't have any more. I don't have any more spells. Mm-hmm. There are none left.
Okay. Well, just in thinking, Nora's contemplating. She's gonna get up and go ahead and release, kind of like postponing her words by doing an action, releasing them, thinking.
Mm. Cypress, Ginkgo, all of the others, grateful, let you undo their latches, and you can see just very faintly the various burn marks from where they had tried to fight, along their wrists and along their neck.
And then I'm gonna go back to Citron and Talavin.
You all are right there together. I mean, I assume you put all of your things, like one bag over here, one bag over here.
Yeah, that's
like,
what I thought. They're all right there.
You all kind of congregated all of your things, and as it looks like you all are getting ready to set up camp, this is when Citron addresses you.
Gotcha. My bad. Well, it wouldn't feel right on our end to keep you with us. Is there some other form of trade that would make it right? For your customs?
I mean, in theory, when a debt is owed, it could be an exchange in a favor. In theory. But it is still owed, and if it is not called upon, it is dishonorable.
Ooh. Well, is there a way we can, after you leave, is there a way we could call upon you at a later time?
Quite possibly. He looks at the others and they're like, we don't have anything like that right now. We're exhausted. We need to sleep. Or leave.
Not right now.
Yeah. I mean,
how about we think about it?
yeah.
How about
we could all just rest and we can all discuss it together in the morning. We can get everyone's opinion. If that's okay with you all.
The others who have been listening in also seem that equal tenseness of they realize what Citron is saying, and at the same time there's this obvious desire of like, to go home. But they also recognize the responsibility of what occurred.
We'll discuss this in the morning.
Yeah, I think that would be best.
Well, then before you go about fixing up the rest of your camp, at least let me do this one thing. He flies over to one of the cleared areas where you all had planned to set up a fire. He takes out a few very small components. He takes that moment, mutters this incantation, and using his finger, he actually has to fly from the ground. He flies up to past Warrior's height, darts around, back, forth, up, down, drawing these quick arcane sigils in the air, and you can see them almost like wisps, puffs of clouds. And as he finishes, as he lands back, you can see apparating before you in this misty cloud is a doorway.
A door?
A doorway, yes.
Like a dimension door?
Or is he about to take us into like the elemental flame dimension? Because I already almost went there once. I'm good.
He flies over, and the doorknob is impossibly small, but perfect for his hands. Even though the door is this immense piece, he actually goes over to this very minute door handle, turns it, and swings the door open. And instantly, you are just greeted by this warm light. Says, "Come along. You should probably bring in your horses as well."
Go get the horses and go in.
Everybody else files in. Zoom helps drag in the bags, other elements that you all would need. As Citron continues to hold open the door, you walk in and are meted with a grand foyer. Oh. Right there in front of you, there is this magnificent staircase, almost in a way like Lady Ellara's. Or not, Leonora, like Lady Leonora's. This grand staircase, which swoops up, grows narrow, and goes off into separate chambers, separate hallways to the left and to the right on the second floor. You can see that there's a fine dining hall off to the right-hand side. Over to the left-hand side, you can hear the kitchen, and you can see these spectral figures just emerging, appearing only for moments, and then leaving.
Oh, yikes.
He points to a place underneath of the stairs. He says, "There's a stable there.
What is this?
You can take the horses there."
I need to know this spell.
You can just see the bags under his eyes. He's getting very tired very quickly.
Oh no. Okay. Aw.
I'll take the
Everybody
horses.
goes in, and he flies and he shuts the door. With a quick wave of his hand, the doorknob becomes invisible. He says, "If you approach the door, you will find one more suited to your size, but just in case."
This is awesome.
This is actually really cool. I guess we'll take the horses to the stable and then find one of the rooms, I suppose.
I will give Warrior a sugar cube.
Tables and see these spectral forms come forward. "Let us help you." And takes the leads and guide the horses into the stables. You can see that there's fresh hay, there are apples, there's just this myriad of things for your horses to refresh themselves with.
I'm just like, make sure you tie him up. Thank you. I give him a sugar cube before he walks away, though.
He takes it happily. Although he is eyeing the water bucket a little bit harder than the sugar cube right now.
I understand.
That's nice. I mean, I kind of want to explore. How big is this place? It's like...
I don't know.
Let's go exploring.
I run everywhere. I'm just kidding.
Well, I'm going to glance to see if anyone needs attention before...
All of the others, whether they're being helped by their fellow companions, those who can fly, those who can't, those who are injured and exhausted, and those who still have just that little bit of strength left, they actually go over, and there is a separate hallway. Because there's the kitchen off to the immediate left-hand side. You can just see the steam kind of rolling out as you smell just faint herbs and spices just wafting in the air. And there's a separate hallway off to the left-hand side, which is significantly smaller.
Oh, that's cute. Yeah, I'm going to explore the big area if they don't need any help.
They don't need any help. They don't ask for anything. I'm going to go explore with them.
No, they don't ask for anything. All right, where do you go first?
Oh, okay.
Up the stairs. Yeah, up the stairs.
Up the stairs. Up the stairs.
You all dart up the stairs, two at a time, and you are almost out of breath when you reach the top and you look back, and there's just this massive cascading staircase just descending behind you.
I have my cloak wrapped around me very tightly.
There's just this bright, this warm, it's like an LED light. It's not candlelight. It's just this almost radiant, very fine glow all around you. You look to the left, you look to the right, just hallway extending either side.
To the left.
Yes. Go to the left.
You all dart off to the left, and you're passing by various paintings. At one point, you pass by and make a perception check.
Oh.
Oh no, that's not good.
Oh.
Fuck. 14.
10.
14. Both of you recognize this scent as you all, in mid-stride, stop yourselves and halt. It's the smell of parchment, fresh, crisp parchment. You whip around and look inside, and you can see this magnificent library extending 1, 2, 3, 5 floors up. There are spiral staircases on either side. There are these walkways which extend, and you can actually see that there are ladders that you can specifically place in different spots and swing them from one place to another. There's a fireplace, a roaring fireplace, magnificent, taller than yourself. Lavish chairs, which, as you touch them, there's almost a coolness to them, as if sitting by the fire would almost make you uncomfortable, and this is a way to counter it. And you look over, and you can actually see in the right-hand corner, as if you enter the door over in the right-hand corner, there's actually a much smaller library, which extends proportionally about the same size.
Do we keep exploring, or do we go to the library?
We have to keep exploring.
I will take a note that this room is here, and I will be back.
I feel like we're just like...
You look up and you can see that there's a clear glass window revealing the sky above.
Is it daytime or nighttime?
It's nighttime. And there's hundreds and thousands of stars in that very faint crescent moon.
That's much better.
Yeah, I feel like we're just like children right now. Just completely forgetting the exhaustion. We're just excited running around. Because there's no one watching us.
Yep.
We could be ourselves.
I'll dart back outside. And there are doors everywhere. This is just the first thing that you happen to notice. As you all are just sprint past. There's this very fine, it's this dark navy rug, which has these golden and silver tassels on either side, is acting as a run all the way down the hallway.
We keep going. What else do we see?
Opening.
You keep running. Go ahead and make another perception check.
Okay, you're not doing very well.
17 plus 5 is 22.
That is only an 11. No,
only 11. As you all continue just sprinting as hard as you can down, Nora, you recognize this actually. And it's strange coming from the second floor, but you realize it's part of a vent. And you take that moment and you just breathe in through this vent to smell of a forge.
There's a forge here?
There's a forge.
How do we get that smell?
You can smell iron. You can smell this molten steel. The smell of metalwork.
Citron now.
A part of it just reminds you instantly of home, and you realize there's probably a basement that you're going to have to explore. You make it down to the end of the hallway, and there's another set of stairs that actually curves in. It's embedded into the wall, almost like a spiral, but you can't see it at the top.
Does it go up?
Yeah, it does.
Go up!
You go up to the next floor, and immediately there's a room off to your right-hand side, and it's an observatory. It's this massive bump out. It just extends almost 30 feet out, completely glass. You can see that there are... oh my goodness, I had the word, and then I just lost it. Oh, it's what sailors use for navigation. Oh my goodness.
A telescope?
Sextant. A sextant. There are sextants. There are telescopes. There are journals. There are books of various constellations, just all laid out in this area.
This is wonderful.
You look down and you can see now just all the way down the hallway, just extending as far as your eye can see.
There's more? Oh my God.
There is more.
No, why did this have to be so cool? I'm not gonna get any sleep.
Sprint down the rest of this part of the hallway, and you are greeted where the main entrance would be. You look out, and you can see that there's a third floor training area. There's a place where there are mannequins, there are different positions. You see that there are different weapons just lining the walls, and there's this relative mat, this kind of sandpit-like area in the middle, lit by torches as you pass by.
Oh my God, he's making it so hard for me to let go!
Maybe he could teach us the spell or something.
He's gonna have to teach us the spell. That's his life deck. Teach me the spell.
I don't want to keep him with us.
You need to be like a level 20
only
million character to get this spell.
We would never have to go to a tavern ever. Ever.
No more nasty men and baths.
You all keep running. Speaking of which, in one of the rooms, instantly, you're like, what could be behind any of these other doors? And you go over to the next door and you open it and you see this bedroom, this magnificent bedroom. There is a king-size bed with this massive 4-poster bed frame. There's swooping arcs, but instead of there being these curtains, instead of being curtains, they're lights. This very fine chained light, or this luminous hanging above, draped over this entire area. You see that there's a window and there's a window seat with pillows that is 3-4 foot deep, just embedded into the wall. There's another fireplace and another one of those same chairs. Excited, you go over to one of the doors that are actually inside of this room and you open it up, and you have never seen such a lavish bath. Embedded into the ground, you have to walk into it. It extends all the way up to your neck. You look, and there are these strange devices, and you take that moment, and you grab a hold, and you pull, and water begins filling it. You initially touch the water, and it's cold, but as you go to turn it off, you see steam rising from it. Water.
Do we want to keep exploring for now? Yes. Okay, I turn it off. I turn it off.
You turn it off.
For now.
You go back outside.
We keep going.
This bathroom itself is actually made of marble, and there's a wash basin, and then there's a mirror. And that's at that moment where you look at yourself and you're like, oh no. Decide to leave. This is the point where you decide to leave.
I'll deal with that later.
I just wrap my cloak around me a little bit tighter.
Would you like me to mend?
You go back outside.
It's fine.
On the third floor, looking to your left, looking to your right. You have just come from the right-hand side. You entered into on the left, so you keep going down this hallway, just sprinting as fast as you can. Make another perception check.
What else could there be?
Natural 20.
10.
Natural 20.
Yes. There is actually a secondary library, but this one is much smaller, a private study. And in this, you take one of the books, you peel it out, just desperate to see any kind of word, and you open it, and it's blank. It's completely blank. It's a fresh binding, fresh bound notebook. As you breathe in, you can still smell there's a faint bit of leather, that fresh leather scent on this thick tome. You look over and you can see just bottles, these fine, almost ornate inkwells lining the wall. You can see that there's actually 1, 2, 3, almost what looks like office spaces stacked 1, 2, 3 down on the ground with a small study, chairs, the same very intricate books along the edges, very, very small quill, a very small inkwell.
I hope you didn't want us to continue the story.
Because we're about to just for the rest of the campaign.
We're just gonna live here. I never want to leave. Just say it.
We're not doing absolutely anything else.
Nothing. Okay. Small.
You make it at the very end of the hallway. You make it to the end, and you can see that there is a set of stairs which probably lead to the second floor from the opposite end of the hallway. However, you see that there's a ladder off to your right-hand side. You go up and you open it up. And initially you're a little bit curious about this particular area, as this entire room is set up like an amphitheater. Just stare. Bench after bench after bench. Some large, some small. There are balconies over on either side. And as you look down, you can see that there's a stage.
This is literally an opera house.
Are there any instruments?
Are there instruments?
Do you go up investigate?
Yeah.
You all go up and you see down in the orchestra pit all of these spectral entities. As you all approach, they all raise their instruments. Bows at the ready, waiting for some kind of command for some ambient music.
I'm gonna grab Talavin and start ballroom dancing with her.
Okay. In my shredded dress.
As you begin dancing, you go up onto the stage and you can see the spectral. And begins playing this lovely waltz as you all begin dancing. As you all pass by the floor lights, they alight with flame. The curtains swing back, and from behind, just behind this entire, these massive dark navy curtains, as they rush back, a scene is set. This absolutely elegant, hand-painted, and possibly small details from this entire backdrop.
I took the lead, by the way.
That's fine. I'm gonna say, like, as I'm, like, trying to dance, I'm, like, mending it a little bit just so that it's not, like, gaping open.
Check.
Oh, no.
Oh, man.
Just for kicks and giggles.
Oh, that's not very good. Oh, my performance is terrible.
8.
14.
Both of you have swept up in the moment. Nora, you're having a hard time leading, as every time you glance over, you just are mesmerized by the detail. You want to go and investigate, but then you realize that you're leading her the wrong direction. You begin just trying to maneuver and dance, but feeling exhausted and also elated, excited at all of the prospects surrounding you. It's hard to focus.
That's okay.
I got a 14. I'll carry us. It's fine.
I'm not used to being the man.
Carry the team. Yeah, Talavin, you're doing pretty good. You're doing pretty good.
Earlier.
You're not performing for anybody in particular. It'll be all right.
I will not tell you what happened.
You tell me everything.
I will tell her everything.
All right.
But we'll do that later.
Yeah.
We'll do that later.
Okay, so is there any... So it was the ladder that led to the...
Amphitheater?
It did.
We are not ever leaving here. I don't
It's amazing!
There's nothing outside. This is my life is complete now.
This makes me so
Citron cannot drag me out of here.
You done good, Brendo. You should have left when you had a chance. When we offered. Alright. Okay, were there any... wait, we haven't even explored the first floor.
Oh, we didn't. We run back down to the first floor.
You all rushed down.
So there was the second floor, which had
the 2 hallways.
It had the observatory. No, wait. No, it had the library. And then it had we could feel the heat from the forge. And then we went to the staircase to the 3rd floor. And that had the observatory, the training arena, the huge bedroom with the huge bath. And then the second smaller private study. And then we went to the end of that hallway and there was a staircase down, but then there was a ladder up, which is where the amphitheater was.
Okay.
So we're going... So we pretty much saw the 2nd, 3rd, and then the 4th floor, right?
You saw all of the 3rd, all of the 4th, and you only saw half of the 2nd. And none of the 1st floor and none of the basement.
Half of the 2nd? We didn't go down the other hallway.
So we're going to go down the other way. We're going to go down the other way to the 2nd floor and then clear that side.
So opening
you make it down to the bottom.
Opening random doors along the way, are they just bedrooms mainly?
Many of them are bedrooms. One of them actually, however, is an art studio.
On which floor?
It is, as you all were on the 3rd floor running down, you opened one of them and it was one of the bedrooms, and then you made it down close to the amphitheater, and this other one, logistically, it would be near or just under the amphitheater. You guess that's probably where all of the backdrops were being taken care of.
3rd floor, 4th floor. Okay. Second library was on the 3rd floor. The bedroom was on the 3rd floor.
To the 2nd floor!
You go down to the 2nd floor, and when you go down to the 2nd floor, you open up a door that is directly in front of you, and you can see gowns, fabrics, bolts and bolts and bolts of every texture, every fabric that you can conceive. You see the spectral servants drifting forward. Can we make you something?
Oh, that's so cool. I'm just gonna be like, got a regular shirt and some pants I could throw on.
They vanish, and whenever they return, they have this wonderfully soft button-down white shirt. And this, unfortunately, it feels like a skirt, but they are pants. Rest assured, they're not leather, but they're soft. And as you run, it gives more dynamic movements as you run. It has this swish to it that just gives you that extra length as you're running.
Better than a torn-up dress.
Put it on. This is great. There's a little changing area with mirrors.
Oh, I didn't care. But that's fine too. And it is just not wanting to show you.
Weird.
Show me?
It just keeps blinking out.
No, it just started.
Hold on.
Don't worry about me. You don't need to see me. You just need to see the environment around you. That was part of the 2nd floor.
Yes, the fashion.
Run down the rest and make another perception check for me.
Yee, there's more.
That's a natural 15.
I got a natural 15.
So 22.
22. You all go by, and even before you get there, you smell the air. You just smell it in the air, and you grab a hold of one of the next doors and you toss it open. And as you just throw this door open, you just see racks and racks and racks of dried herbs and spices, very much like a very familiar looking location where you have been before. The way the organization system, there are small labels along jars of dried herbs, fresh herbs.
Do I see
You can see that there's... Do you see anybody?
Yeah,
no.
like the dude that...
On the opposite side, and you think for a moment that you step out into an almost open space as you see all of these racks, you go over to the opposite side of the wall, and this room actually has what looks like a faint bit of daylight. And as you go over, you can see that there are fresh potted plants basking in the day, basking in this artificial daylight.
Just breathe in. All right.
Freaking out.
Next room.
We keep going.
You make it all the way back to the end of the hall. You're just throwing open other doors, and you just see more bedrooms. Some of them more lavish than others. Some of them simple but elegant. Each one almost has its own theme, but there's also similarities between one and the next. Each one equipped with a bathroom. Some of them actually have adjoining doors that lead from one bedroom into the next. Some of them have additional bookshelves. Some of them have writing tables, writing desks.
We go back down to the first floor when we get to the end.
Row yourselves down the first floor, and you can see some of them are currently gathered just by the entrances. They're watching you all run around. They've watched you disappear, and now they're watching you like sprinting back, wearing different things, just excitedly exploring the space. You can see Citron is actually just sitting nearby, just smiling.
Whenever Nora sees them, she's gonna compose herself just a little bit, just like a little bit, like, just kind of like a quick step, like.
And then once we're out of view,
you go look inside of the kitchen. It extends far. There are furnaces. There are specific tables that look like they're being used only for bread making. You can just smell different herbs that are being just melded, just shoved, pushed, kneaded into these massive buns.
Do I see any already finished bread?
As you do, they actually have this, or what looks like an hors d'oeuvre tray, and one of them comes up, "Would you like some?"
And I take like 3 of them. I'm like, "Thank you so much."
There are 3 different ones.
I take one of each.
One of them has a cheese that you're not quite sure what this cheese is, but it just melts in your mouth. One of them is almost like this slight garlicky taste, but there's also these other flavors, these other herbs that you just can't name. And one of them is just faintest bit sweet with a little bit of orange tang.
I will also try one of each before.
You try one of each, and there's actually an additional one, and this one is actually a cake, like a little sponge cake. Perfect bite size. with some fresh fruit curled on the top.
Yes.
You all leave the kitchen and go into the dining room, and this just extends all the way down. You can see that there are actually places for sprites and normal-sized folk alike along this entire table.
So weird. Why would this place be normal-sized and small-sized? Like, wouldn't it only be mostly accommodating for small?
Maybe he altered the spell.
Okay, that's true.
Glancing in from the dining room, you can actually see, to peer around this magnificent ballroom, these crystal chandeliers just hanging aloft, not tethered to anything. Lights slightly drift, almost like fireflies on the breeze. The room is slightly dark, although if you enter, lights naturally brighten.
Dance here too?
You can see the same spectral servants descending with the same instruments as they.
Might as well, they're here.
I mean, kinda.
Okay, we're gonna do a dance again. I'll lead this time.
I'm gonna take off my armor.
Performance check.
I'm gonna take out and then just have my normal clothes.
Ooh, that's actually pretty good. 17.
Nice.
9. I'm glad you're leading.
You are definitely the one leading as you all glide around this entire place. It almost looks like the floor has this sheen to it, this very light coat, which makes your movements glossy. It makes them fluid. You all twirl and dance and spin around the entirety of this area.
Are they still watching us?
No. They were gathered. What looks like it looks like they were probably going to head to the dining area or wait for the wait to be served. But you guys are just running around like lunatics, so they're letting you all have this.
Yes.
No one's saying anything to you.
Okay, good.
FYI, I only have 10 hit points, so just make sure nothing comes out.
You all head, and you actually, as you get to that first floor, you glance down the right hallway. As you see the stables, you all didn't actually see a lot of the stables. But that also extends far back. The stables are just magnificently sized, to the point where they can actually trot around. There's enough room. Each one of them have their own area, and out of curiosity, you go to the very end, and you peer open one of the doors, and there's an entire arena. A riding arena, just far back.
She does not want me to leave this place. She has convinced me. I am convinced. I am not leaving.
This is wonderful.
You all take that moment, you close, and you can see all of them are in the middle of braiding and combing and brushing off, washing off your horses, and taking care of them. Sasana, slightly freaked out, is in the process of trying to nibble any of the spectral servants that come nearby. However, they're spectral.
What's she saying?
You can see the crazed frustration in her eye
Oh,
as she is only wanting to run. You can see one of them actually gives a nod, mounts her, and takes her into the arena for her to run.
Oh, good.
I'm just going to go over and nuzzle on Warrior just for a minute while she's watching Sasana.
They are currently in the middle of brushing through his hair. They're adding oils, so he smells nice.
Oh, baby. My little munchkin.
You all head out of the stables and down, and you can actually see there's almost a darker turn to these particular halls. You all glance in, and you can see that there are various storage cupboards. Cupboards for the kitchens, where probably butlers' pantries. You see that there is an entire cooled room with meat just lining each and every surface. And there you see, descending down, not behind a door, but curving around this another staircase, almost as grand as the one in the front room.
It's going down?
Goes down.
The forge!
Torchlight ignites the entire way. You all go down. Make another perception check.
Natural 18, so 23.
Yeah.
So 19.
19. Both of you, as you reach the bottom of the stairs, just see torchlight after torchlight. Almost of this dark, red-black brick. This dark crimson brick leading down this entire chamber. You smell the forge. You also smell something else. Something caustic. And another chemical. Something else. As you breathe in, you're not familiar with it.
Yes,
You go over to the right-hand side and you open the door and you can see there's an alchemical lab. You see various dried herbs and plants also draped, very similar to the apothecary that you had entered before, that same room of herbs growing. But this seems to be the place to concoct and create, as there are vials, small, large, jars, basins, every tool that you could need in this place.
This is so cool. We can all leave.
You look around, you go to the next room, and you have to go down a little bit further. And there it is over on the right-hand side. You open it and are met with this blast furnace heat, this emanating heat. You can see that there are leather gloves lining immediately the wall around you, as you see that there is a forge, a furnace burning. This very infernal-like light just emanating. You can see blocks, highly organized blocks of materials, or pommels, or grips. You can see that there are places for leatherwork. You can see that there is actually a desk with multiple seats for you to sit. You can see that there is an anvil, there are hammers, there are tongs lining the walls.
I just kind of like pat Nora on the back as I see her like
This is
fully in
wonderful.
tears.
This is just like my home.
As you all pull out from the room, you head down, and that odd smell is just something about it. It's not that it bothers you, it's just you can't name it. You make it down to the left-hand side, and you open this next door, and once again are hit with this wave of warmth. But you're also met with this entire pool of water. Shallow, going deeper and deeper and deeper. 50, 60 foot across, maybe
Like
100.
a hot spa?
You go down and touch the water, this water is cool. However, as you're down by the water, you glance over and it connects to another room, which is where the steam is emanating from.
I'll go there. I want to go undersea.
You go there and it is a waterfall, just this cascading waterfall after waterfall into multiple pools of this perfect temperatured water. It is clear. And one of the basins is only 3 or so foot deep. One of them is only a foot. One of them is 8 foot. One of them is 12 foot. Each one leading into the next by these small trickling waterfalls. You can see actually along the wall this iconography, these arching vines, almost as if you are in some kind of foreign jungle. Just arching, the same gold and silver enlaced leaves with this dark emerald green, just lacing all the way across the walls.
Yeah, we're not never leaving.
We're not never leaving. That's a double negative.
Not ever leaving.
Not never, ever.
Not ever, never, ever, never, never, ever, never, ever.
I mean... So what was that about a life debt you were talking about?
Can I just live here forever?
I mean, no.
That's good enough for me. Can I just get like a key to this place? That's it. I mean, I'm just saying.
We could enchant a key. I could.
You could. I can't.
I don't know what spell is this? I have to ask Citron what spell this is.
One of the servants comes over and they just have a stack of fresh towels, and one of them has 2 folded these kind of soft, impossibly soft robes as they would like to take a bath. So
Talavin is already in the water.
I just wade into the water, just
Yeah, no, Talavin's actually already in the water. The second she entered the warm part, but clothes were off. She was in.
Take off. Do you take off anything, or you just walk into the water?
Oh no, I'll take off my clothes because they're probably. Well, I mean, I guess I can they're clean.
Take those off, set them over to the side, and you step into the water, perfectly warm. Step after step after step. You wade in all the way neck deep. Just let your face just barely rest, nose just barely above the water as you hear this white noise, this waterfall white noise surrounding you.
This is so nice. I'll be like, you got any soap? I got burns on my back.
One of them disappears for about 3 minutes and then comes back with an entire tray of fresh flowers, dried flowers, soaps, polishes, combs, and sets it down by the side and
put it in the water. The whole thing. You know,
that would be kind of cool.
There'd be bubbles everywhere. No, Nora
we destroy the entire place the first night we're there.
Nora wouldn't do that.
I'll take some of the. Do they have any
whatever you could want, they have it.
Well, I take whatever it is that I'm thinking of, and I just.
You rub it across your wounds. You rub it up one side, on the other. You just feel this healing, just this natural healing from these herbs. You rub it into your skin. You feel it just.
Anything that I smell that smells citrusy is what I pick up.
Oh yes. At one point, as you guys are just basking in the warmth of this, looking at this very warm light. Some of the globules of light. I swear it looks like some of the vines twitch and move. They swirl.
I want this to be real. I want this in real life.
At one point, one of the spectral servants, would you like dinner here?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dinner in the bathtub. Yes.
They vanish.
Can I have some clothes too?
They have robes.
Oh, they have robes. Okay, never mind. I forgot.
They had a robe for each of you.
This is so nice.
Because she looks at her armor and like, I mean, I did say I took it off, but she was carrying it with her.
Yeah, 4 servants actually come down, and some of them have multiple bottles of wine just tucked in their arms, and they set it along each side. You see that they have water. You see that they even have what looks like some kind of juice. You smell it. It smells like orange juice.
Orange juice. I love orange
You
juice.
can see that there's just this spread. It's laid before you. There are meats. There are cheeses. There is it's essentially a bread bowl, but there is some kind of thick herb and vegetable stew just resting in the bowl, just soaking into this bread bowl.
Between one of my baths, I'm gonna get out and eat, and then get
The
back in.
several baths
They
that I have a bath
set
in
it
each one
right
of the
next
basins
to
of
the
water.
edge. They all bow.
Thank
Vanish
you
off.
so much.
Of course.
So cool. Yeah, I take a bath in each one of the basins of water. Just continually scrubbing myself with anything that smells like...
And oddly enough, from one bath to the next, the moment you leave, it's almost like whatever residual remained is drawn to the bottom and filtered out and is once again clear.
That's so cool. Magic.
It has its own filter system. This is awesome. Okay.
Yes.
So I guess after we finish the baths, I'm just
After we finish eating and bathing and eating and bathing and drinking and bathing and...
There's no wine left.
There's no one left.
There are like 4 or 5 bottles that they brought down.
2 bottles each. I get the red ones.
Yes. Yes. 2 of them are kind of a dark red. One of them is a lighter, like almost like a pink. This strange pink-like color. One of them is almost this yellowy gold color with not flecks of something, but you swirl it around and there's just this.
I drink it straight out the bottle. No glasses necessary.
Each one is well kept, well crafted.
I'm going to say I washed my hands several times just thinking of how many times I had to hold Spindley's hand. I'm just like...
Spindley! Spindley! Yes.
Nasty Spindley.
This is wonderful. This is glorious. Okay. After that. Then what? I guess
Then what? Yeah,
did we
well, I
finish
don't know.
exploring? Was that
Was that it? Was that pretty much it?
Overall, I mean, you could go into each individual room and I could spend the entire rest of the day describing each and every single room. Or you guys could randomly find one and go to bed for the evening.
I mean, do you want to go to bed or you want to go to the library?
Let's go to the library.
Library.
I'm
We're going to
gonna
go to the library.
like,
In our robes.
I mean, yeah.
Fuck it.
Tuck in with your robes. As soon as you finish, the spectral servants come through and grab up the various dishes, the bottles, your clothes, and like, we'll have this mended soon. And just vanish as you guys walk back through. They even have slippers, as you notice. They have these fluffy slippers that you just slip into, and they're so refreshing against your feet. You all shuffle back, smelling the forge, smelling the herbs, ascend the stairs, just...
And we
Can
go
you
to
hear
the
me?
library. Make a
Okay,
what?
make a... No, nothing.
Oh, wisdom? Perception? Is that what you said?
Perception?
Yeah, perception.
23, 24.
19.
23 or 24, which one is it?
24. Because I was still adding as I said it, and then I was like, no, it's 21 more.
20, 19, 20, 24. That's not how it goes. What? As you guys ascend the stairs and begin heading off to the library, you make your way about halfway up the stairs before you realize that you're hearing music from the ballroom.
I'm just going to go down and just...
Are you being stealthy about it?
Yes.
Yes.
Make a stealth check.
Oh, shoot.
That is a natural 19.
Natural 16, so...
So that is
It's
a
your turn.
25.
Tainted 20. Sneak.
No joke, I rolled 2 19s in a row just now.
Do they do?
I rolled a 19.
Yeah.
There's no way their perception is perceptive.
They have a high perception. Some of them at least. You guys peer around the corner, and you can see some of them are also in robes. Ginkgo is definitely in a robe, and is currently just laying back, wings sprawled out against the cool marble. Just this entire area. You see that the spectral individuals are playing this very soft, very sweet, almost melancholy-like waltz. It's this 3-4 time piece. It swirls in, swirls out, catches, lingers, and continues. And you can see flying Arjun and Talal.
Are they Supermaning it?
No, he's flying on his own.
What? Wait, is his wing faced?
You see a raven nearby with a smile on his face.
Oh my goodness! See, if we had just gone to the library, we wouldn't have seen this!
You're right.
Oh, Talavin starts bawling her eyes out. I'm kidding. No, I'm not. She's internally crying.
Eventually, they all look at you. Unfortunately, the other two who are currently in the midst of dancing in midair, they're preoccupied at the moment.
I will say
But
Talavin's eyes completely
the others are glance over upon seeing movement much larger than them coming through. Upon seeing it's you, give a curt nod and continue on.
I give a curt nod and I race away as tears are going, filling my eyes. I'm like, no, I can't let people see this.
Mm-hmm. It's like silent.
Zoom, by the way, is in the middle of also exploring. He's just going every which way, just wandering the halls, looking left and right, just exploring every which way.
Where is
Raymond? He is currently at the dining table speaking with Vin.
With Vin. Do we hear what they're talking about?
Make a perception check.
That's good.
10?
That's not bad. That's a 21.
21. And then what did you see, Nora?
I got a 10.
You technically have lip reading. Yeah, I was like, you technically have lip reading, so you pick up on some of the things that they're saying, which for the most part is Raymond be like, Raymond responding like, yes, I know it's gonna be a little bit weird, oddly, and you, Talavin, are picking up on the majority of this. They're just speaking normally. You hear like, it's gonna be a little bit weird. Heading out. Hopefully the shop is gonna be all right, at least for the next few days. Might need to figure out a better game plan for that. You hear Vin? It's like, probably, but at the very least, I mean, you said that they were probably returning at some point or another. And how long do you think you'll be on the road? Raymond just kind of shrugs. I don't really know. They kind of said he glances over and he waves at you guys.
We're gonna nonchalantly
Wave back.
keep walking. We weren't listening.
We're not
Yeah,
sneaking.
no, this is like as you guys are walking, this is what you're picking up.
Okay, good.
And then if you stay any longer, you pick up on it.
No.
You all head up to the second floor, head down the hall, and open the door, and you can see this, again, that magnificent library.
I'm going to pick a fun book and just like read.
Are they like categorized in any way? Can I like tell just by glancing about if they're categorized in any way?
By theme, yes, they are categorized.
What theme do I want to read? Are there magic books?
You see history, you see arcanum, you see all sorts of books.
Oh God.
You
Are
have
there any that stand out?
Yeah,
Like,
I'm gonna go to like the healing herbs, healing magic section,
Medicinal.
and just see
Medicinal
what stands out to
conditorium.
me.
Okay. I make an investigation check.
That is a natural 17. Investigation is +6, so 23.
23. One of them is thoughtful thistles and how to use them.
Oh.
You open it up and you see that there are a lot of common weeds, a lot of common irritating herbs and plants that you can actually utilize if boiled and dried correctly.
Cool.
I'm looking
Some
for
of it, you can actually see that there are actually handwritten notes on the inside.
I still have my bag of holding with me, right?
Don't steal the book.
No, I'm not gonna steal it.
You kind of divulge of all of your stuff, and you're currently wearing a robe and your slippers. I'm gonna say no, you don't have that.
Do I see any like blank journals laying around anywhere that I could
Make a perception check. I mean, you know where they are if you run down the hall and get them.
That's a 13.
13. This seems more like a library, but there you do see some pieces of parchment and quill on what looked like a writing desk where you could probably take it over and make notes.
I'm gonna go do that. I'm gonna take this book with me, maybe a couple others if any other ones look interesting.
Have like a huge stack.
I'm just gonna start taking notes on all of the things, so I can stuff it into my notebook later.
But along a lot of some of the bottom of the pages, some along the sides, you can actually see there are handwritten notes.
Yeah.
Just scrawled in handwritten notes.
I take note of all of those as well.
I take notes of the notes.
I take notes of notes.
Mm-hmm. Make a perception check as you go over to the desk and set everything down and begin just
16.
making notes.
Do I make one?
Nora, you can do this too. Yeah, if you want.
23.
21.
23 and 21. As you guys are using various library, you actually see over in the corner study on one of the shelves, you actually see Citron is quietly reading. He doesn't say anything. And he sees you cruising around, and he just has this almost grandfatherly like smile on his face.
We're making him proud.
As he continues reading, just curled up, relaxed. You can see an actual spectral servant about his size, wander in and set something down on a chairside table, and as it wanders off.
If I see a spectral servant, I'll be like, "Can I get some tea?"
You look around for a moment, and as you're having this feeling of wanting, can I help you?
I'm like, "Can I get some peppermint tea, please?"
Of course, fresh, dried roots, flowers, flair.
Whatever's best.
Looks to you. You?
I will take some as well. I will take some. Can't help but mimic there. Waiting just a little bit.
About 8 minutes to the dot. Comes up with another tray, 2 perfectly sized teacups, a kettle. There are actually 3 small pots of 3 different kinds of peppermint, as well as a jar of honey, and there's some cream, and sugar. I set it down. There.
I know what I'm getting on my next break.
There.
You could ask for the magical key. We could have this without having to keep Citron.
I'm sorry.
I was gonna look if there's any rare books, or if they all just look more generic.
There are some that are look like they need some love, some tattered along the edges. They're on a separate shelf altogether. Actually, behind glass. You open it, you can just smell the age as you open up this cabinet. You pull it out. You see one of them is actually a very familiar tale. one that Talavin had asked a certain individual about
it's the one about
in the shop.
the dragon rider.
You set it back, look to another one, you pull it out, and you can see, the grand adventures of, and the name itself is slightly smudged, but you open it up. You can see just all of these different names. You can see branching family trees just all through this. You turn more pages, page after page. Seems more like some kind of ancestral book.
I see.
You close it, you set it back on the shelf. You look at any of the others?
Yeah.
You just grab one. Okay.
I'm gonna pick the one that looks the most interesting, or one I haven't heard of before, and just read it. Just a little bit.
Ooh, one that you haven't heard of before. Ooh. You actually see that there's one that looks like a raw manuscript. Not leather bound, but parchment, wound with some kind of leather cording. You pull it out. And it's, what languages do you speak? You speak Elvish, right?
Yeah.
This one is in Elvish. And as you open it up, you can see this is actually a journal, a set of journals, written in a first-person perspective. It's very intriguing.
I'm gonna read it for a while, because I feel like I'm gonna pass out here in just a minute. It's been a long day.
It's been a very, very long day. You curl up and you feel the warmth of the fire radiating, but you also feel the coolness of the seat around you. Not uncomfortable, but enough to keep you from overheating, to have to turn away from the flames. You begin reading this first-hand account of this individual who was introduced, who began her studies at a university, Fealthelor, which is in Athiovian. You see this first-person account of her describing the university, her classes, how fundamental, how rudimentary some of them are. Some of the words are smudged here and there, but you're able to gather the overall gist that she was slightly bored. And then you get to a point in the manuscript about halfway through and see that there are more notes of her taking up a professional position at the university, of how she was granted access to some of the older tomes. And then there's a small note of a date down at the bottom. From there, you have that pesky feature, don't you?
Mm-hmm, I do. I can read all written writing. It is.
Let me double check something real quick.
It is Eye of the Rune Keeper. I can read and understand all writing. That's what it says. All writing. Because I got it on purpose, because you always put things in writing and it's like, you don't understand. Oops. Oh well. That's too bad for you.
That's too bad for you.
Oh, it's an invocation.
A what?
Oh, no, that's probably why Marisha became a monk, so that she could have like all these like extra like keen mind stuff. So yeah, you can read all writing.
Yes, I can. It's in Draconic, isn't it? This is the lady that
No.
from the last campaign.
It's written in code. The letters, even though they're in Elvish, there are elements where you look at it and it's almost as if it's blurred. You look at it and you're trying to focus on the letters, you're trying to focus on reading it. You recognize that this is Elvish, but there's some other element that as you're reading it, you're able to get the gist, but all of a sudden, going from this date, going from extending to this position to being in charge of some older books, all of a sudden, it's more like quick entries, jotted notes. They don't seem to mean anything. Picked up additional tomes, took notes. Just dot after dot after dot. There's just something about it that is bothering you, about the sudden change from one form of writing to the next. And you feel that Eyes of the Runekeeper kicking in. You feel that as you're looking at it, and you realize that there's something wrong with this.
But I don't get to understand it.
It's in a language you understand, but there's a code to it.
Oh.
It says you read all writing, not that it breaks anything.
Read and understand.
It just said read all writing.
Well, it says read and understand in my notes.
Oh, I mean, you understand, book. What does book mean? Book.
Don't actually know how to define it. Intelligence check?
Sure. Go ahead and roll an intelligence check.
Oh. 15. With guidance?
15. You can guidance yourself if you want.
Yes! I mean, the most I could get
was 4.
Okay. Wait, it would be...
15, 18.
15, 16, 18.
18. There are a couple that you're able to, as you look at them, you're able to parse out, which is old ones. It's one of the phrases that you pick out. You pick out the word council. You pick out gathering. You pick out a couple other phrases that are just prepositional phrases trying to describe something or going to a particular location. You can actually see there is a small sketched map. The question mark on one of the pages.
What's the date on this thing? Is it like specific dates?
I don't
Are they
know
like
if
super
it's a date.
old dates?
They're super old.
At least 100, 150 years
That's...
Maybe bring it over to me.
at minimum.
Hey, Talavin, look at this.
I'm gonna come over and look.
Yeah. You make your way over and you see of all of these beautiful leather-bound books, she's holding parchment bound by cord, just this almost ratty cord around and around and around. It doesn't look like anything special, but she's pointing to different areas.
I know I don't. Yes, I speak Elvish, but I don't really speak. I don't speak. I mean, if she points it out to me, we could try to like break the code together.
Sounds like a project to me.
Sounds like a good.
Or I could just copy it down and work on it later.
I have parchment right here. Do you want me to copy it down?
You have parchment? Yes.
I have parchment. I'll start copying it down,
As
so
we're
we can
going
break the code later.
Just
What if
rip
we
the
need
pages
what if
out.
you need the whole book? What if the actual book is the code?
Well, there was like a writing style difference.
I know, but what if she wrote the original part as the key?
Intelligence
And you have to
check?
use the entire thing.
Sure, go ahead and roll an intelligence
Can
check.
I help? Can I assist since we're kind of
Sure.
doing this together?
You're both
intelligence.
trying to. You really stare at this
I have
manuscript,
+6.
really trying to
For yeah,
understand what
plus-
this is.
Can I get for guidance?
Sure.
You have a +4 to whatever you roll.
You need D4.
Or yeah, plus a d4.
15, so that's 21. That is a 25.
25? Yowza. You're going through, and as you're looking at the code, you notice that there were similar entries within the text itself.
Yeah, we need the whole book.
You go back and you refer to those pages, and it just reads like a normal paragraph at first glance. You squint your eyes and you're tilting it, and it kills you. You feel part of your soul dying as you fold the page against one another. You crease it, and you see the words, "They're real." As you're laying it over, and you pull it back, it just looks like writing again.
They're real?
They're real.
They're real.
So is each of the entries towards the back that's in the code, is it just a single phrase if we start going through?
So some of them are longer phrases. Some of them are short one-word elements. Some of them just don't look right. Some of them just don't make any sense.
Can I mend the page that she folded? Would that fix the...
I'd be careful, because some that removes ink. Mending removes ink.
It does?
Yeah, it removes... Do not.
Okay.
Just don't
just hurts
mess with it. Don't
No,
mess
I
with
was
it.
asking. I was asking if it would fix the crap.
It might fix the crease, but I'm pretty sure mending removes the ink. At least that's what happened in Critical Role. I am not trying to fuck this book up.
No. Cool. So they're
I'm
real.
I'm very interested in this book to see what it has to say in this code. If we go through it for a little while together, how much of it can we get done? Like, how much of it can we translate? Just like a couple.
Before we pass out.
Before we completely just.
You guys are feeling rather exhausted. Even as you fold the page over, you feel your eyes drooping. You feel that course of adrenaline as with this excitement. That peppermint tea, relaxing ambiance of this entire environment. You're having a little bit of a hard time keeping yourself completely aloft.
I'm gonna look around real quick. Is Citron still over there?
He is. He's still reading.
I'm gonna walk over and just kind of like.
No. And you can. There's actually what looks like a small balcony that attaches itself to the edges. It's enough for if he were to go over the edge, he could fly, and it would. His head would clear easily. And he steps up to the edge, book folded, finger holding his place as he clasps his hands and looks up. Oh, I see you're taking account of all of the different novels in my collection.
Oh, this is a dream come true. This is very amazing. But this manuscript that my cousin found, it's very intriguing. I was wondering, do you know anything about the code in the back?
I've spent many hours sifting over those exact pages. There are a few that I've been able to decipher, but the rest is a little bit harder. At least for me, and, well, this person ended up receiving justice for the things that she ended up doing, so can't hardly see how it's relevant.
What did she do?
I know who this is, but Nora doesn't know.
I don't know who this is, this particular. I didn't read the entire manuscript, but could I ask who she was, what she did?
She was a president of Thalor, a university, and in the central of Athiovion, the continent below us. It is a very well-known university, and it turns out that she, among others, were involved in, cult-like activities. It is not against law to organize and worship or partake in various ceremonies. However, it was only later that various charges were pressed by the returned writer herself, as a murder attempt was almost executed on her.
Interesting. What was her name?
It's in my other notes. DMs always have notes. I thought I didn't have them since the move. Siralee Kevediritinu.
This is beautiful.
Or Kevediritinu. Sorry.
Whoa.
Siralee.
What was that?
Serilye. Siralee.
Okay.
And then Kevediritinu. Kevadirtinu.
And then I want to ask him who she was worshiping, I guess, or who she was following. You said that she was kind of like a...
Yeah, kind of dusty. Oh, I smudged it. Yeah, this isn't relevant to our campaign, but it's fun to know.
I mean, you never know what could be relevant.
That unfortunately was undiscovered, as those who were also involved in these particular practices and waiting for the return of the first rider were dispelled. They may still be present or about. However, as far as my knowledge extends, I do not believe they're in Feathalor anymore, at least.
Interesting.
I see.
I guess that's good enough for now. Okay. I might come back to that later, but...
I'm gonna sleep with the journal and see if I have a dream tonight. If I can bring it with me.
Bring it with me. We better ask Citron to take one of his books with you.
Well, no, it's probably not that.
Is that all you require?
Yes. That is all. I appreciate the time in your library, but I...
Have you had a chance to think about what it was that we said before?
I was going to sleep on it.
No. You should know, we do not possess any reservations. We know what is owed. We could not be more grateful for everything that you have done. For all of us. For all of those who managed to escape earlier. I'm sure that they're currently reuniting with their families.
That's more than I could have asked for.
I did want to ask.
Okay.
What magical spell that you created this world with?
Oh.
This is quite magnificent.
It is a spell of mansion, of sorts, at least. You're able to customize various elements, of course, once you understand the spell and once you've mastered it. I added a few additional elements. Not used to my library being so large, but it seemed fitting to accommodate for our heroes.
It is.
Much appreciated.
I could live here. I could just live in this library. Just all the knowledge.
So what was Cast Mansion?
Yeah, Spell of Mansion?
Mansion? Yes.
I feel like I've heard that
I want to
before.
see what level it is.
I've definitely heard that before.
It can be a relatively tricky spell if you aren't necessarily certain of its various elements. But once mastered, you can play with various incantations and hand gestures, see what that brings about.
Well, you certainly have mastered it.
I ought to have, after so many years.
Shit, it's not in this fucking
It's not in the book.
What the hell?
Well, it's spell mansion.
I thought it was just mansion. Okay. I'll keep looking.
We can look in the back for sorry, I want to use the spells. Sorry, just give me a minute.
You can call it Citron's Magnificent Mansion, if that helps. With this particular location, but at any rate, I'd rather enjoy it.
I don't see anything with spell mansion. Spell book, spell attack, spell speed, spell casting.
Yes. So.
And please do think about it.
Yes, we'll think about it. Been slightly preoccupied enjoying what you've given us for tonight. And to think we were gonna let you go early. Thank you.
Consider this part of our payment.
Definitely.
Yes.
This is awesome.
I need to figure out what kind of...
Alright, well.
Do keep in mind, if you do try to take anything from this particular area, it's most likely not to follow. But the unfortunate part, there are some elements which, once played with, can potentially reside within which reside within this place.
I see. So does that apply to the journals?
Oh, shit.
Unfortunately.
All my notes. Can I take my notes with me? Shit.
Perhaps.
Damn. Well, if I can't,
I would recommend,
if I leave them here, can I come back and copy my notes?
of course. Yes, anything that is here will reside here. Anything that is tried and attempted to be removed from the premises will most likely vanish along with this place. It can obviously be recast, brought back to life.
I see.
Okay, well, I will have to bring my notebook
We'll have to
in
look at that later. Alright. Well, I think I'm going to retire.
Yes, I'm ready to fall
for
over.
the evening. But we will see you tomorrow.
We'll see you in the morning. Good night.
Good night. Now I get to go pick a room.
I'm gonna go back to the room with the giant. I'm just kidding. With the giant bathtub. I'm taking another bath. No, I'm just kidding.
If you open up any of the other bedroom doors, bathrooms are all the same. It's the same magnificent bathroom.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
Well, see. I don't know. I'm just gonna find a real cool room on random on the 3rd floor. If there were rooms on the 3rd floor.
There are rooms on the 3rd floor. You go to the one across from the training area. Seeing all of the leatherwork, all of the metallic weapons. So something about that reminds you of the armory back at your home and how you contributed to that. You take that moment and you open up that door. You are not disappointed, as this room also possesses many weapons. Instead of this dark navy, the rooms are actually this almost charcoal red. Like burning embers of a forge itself up the walls. So elements almost look cracked, as if one coat and then another were overlaid on top of it, and you can just see peeling from underneath, although it is a smooth surface. The bed itself has this lovely, thick, the same color, that blackish red comforter. The bed is soft, and you sink into it. And as you look up, you can see that along the top, there are daggers along the, just inlaid in the pattern, all along the ceiling.
Pointing downwards, like.
No, not pointing downwards, just laid up, flat against the ceiling.
Just like home.
Instead of that the same 4 posters reside there, but instead it looks like there are very fine woven chains. Things that you would use to hang up pieces of metalwork. Hanging along the edge, each one flickering very faint light.
Yes.
I will go into a room close to hers, but not the same room.
And closer, how close? Like next door, or like a little bit further
door,
down?
just in case something happens, because you never know.
To the left or the right? Like if you're facing the training area and she's behind you, do you head down to the left or the right?
To the left.
To the left. You head down to the left, and you open up the door, and you can see in this particular area, it's very much akin to the theater that resides nearby. There are these massive, just lavish blue curtains that drape over the 4-poster bed and hang in this canopy above. There are golden and silver masks, each inlaid, one with the other, some with different highlights, some of them more bestial, some of them more human, some of them more canine-like. You look up and you can see that there's a mural painted of just this magnificent scene before you of this play. As you look up at the ceiling, you swear that you see that there's a very faint applause, this shimmer to the audience, as there are people bowing on the stage. The bed is soft and the same colored comforter. Although, as you look along the firelight, as you press into this particular comforter, there's a very faint golden silver sheen, and you can see there's this very faint pattern along each and every area, just branching, arching out. Almost looks like lightning. Oh, Talavin, I wonder what would have happened if you went into one of the bedrooms off to the right-hand side. So
I leave and I go into the bedroom off to the right-hand side. Now I'm curious.
Go into the bedroom on the right-hand side. You open it, and it feels so familiar. The entire sky line has been painted on the ceiling, hundreds and thousands and millions of stars, as well as an interesting ridge, familiar-looking ridge. You can see that instead of dark navy, that there are silver banisters, just laced like vines around the edges. There's this very thin gossamer silver curtain that hangs aloft along the top of the banister, down the 4 poster beds, and that there's this silver comforter.
How would Citron know what that place looked like, though?
I don't know. I don't care. Maybe the rooms are what you want them to be. They're magical.
You can go find him and ask him if you really, really wanted to. But he might be asleep, you know.
Ask him tomorrow.
Ask him tomorrow.
Because...
Perchance, can I just, like, think... I mean, like, I don't know how these spectral servants work, but I'm like, I don't really want to go to bed in a robe. I'm like, can I get, like, a white shirt to sleep in?
Did you check the closet?
Oh, I did not check the closet. Thank you very much. I will go check the closet. There's nothing.
You open the closet and you can see a myriad of different training uniforms, button-down shirts, pants, large, small, belts, fitted, corsets, a few dresses, elegant dresses.
I'm going to just get like a large cottony shirt that just...
It has little ties in the front that just lace almost like a corset. All right, between.
Yes, then I just gotta leave it undone. It's fine.
You're alone.
I'm alone.
Zoom comes by at one point and knocks.
I tie it back up a little bit.
Just like the hoodie, when you pull the strings on your hoodie.
How did he know what room you were in?
Doesn't matter. I'm not asking. I'll open the door.
He looks and
I'll link with him. I'll be like, did you find somewhere to sleep as well?
I did. It's very, very nice. I don't know how I feel about all of these see-through people helping, doing stuff. Unnerving.
Well,
makes me worry.
Don't be worried. I'm sure they're fine. Well, get some good rest and we'll have a good chat in the morning.
What do you think about this place? It's pretty cool, right? Did you go exploring?
I did. It's so huge. It only came from the little doorway, and now just keeps going.
Did you see the amphitheater up the ladder?
I saw everything.
It was pretty cool.
Lots of here.
Curiously, now that we have all of these companions, and I know you heard what we were talking about earlier, what would be your take on what we should do?
I mean, it would be disrespectful to tell them no, I think. They're a proud race. I think they are. They take pride in being able to fulfill their word, in upholding certain traditions, or at least some of them do. I know Hillel has challenged a few recently, but he is who he is.
Yes.
There's a compromise somewhere. There's a way to help them feel like they can satisfy the debt that they feel that is owed, and also not have to keep them. You're very concerned about that, and I wanted to come check on you and Nora, but I found your room first.
Yes, I don't I don't want to keep them from their home any longer than they've already been away.
Just give me your wings and I will call it even. I will sell it on the black market.
Like that seagull.
Me and Zoom both look down at Nora's room.
Sorry, I'm not there.
We just hear maniacal laughing in the background.
Nora's actually a hag.
Backstory
She's been
of a
impersonating one this whole
lifetime!
time. She's been impersonating your cousin this entire time. Your cousin's dead. Ah!
That would be awesome.
That would be fucking garbage! I would be so pissed!
Yeah, that would be terrible.
I'm so scared.
I'm sus.
Hug me, I'm scared. Don't hug me, I'm scared.
I was gonna say something
Before I interrupted.
before the maniacal laughing started. I was gonna say, well,
A little slip of the tongue, since I don't usually talk about my backstory that much.
I'll just be like, I know what it's like to have your home taken from you. I wouldn't wish that on anyone else.
But wouldn't you feel indebted if someone were able to return you to that home? Wouldn't you feel this sense of, I don't know, loyalty to them?
If that were possible. Yes. I know where they're coming from. I don't know. Hopefully we'll be able to find that middle ground where everyone's happy. But
Right.
Now keys.
Your home was taken from you?
in a sense. More like we just had to get away from it. But maybe we can talk about that another time.
Oh, yikes. The most uncomfortable.
He takes that moment and he hasn't actually had a chance to clean up. He's been, as you guys sprinted through the halls, he's still in his armor. He still has his various belongings. He's actually trying to find the right room for him to actually go and sleep in. So he actually has all of his stuff, but he lets his pack slide onto the ground. He takes his bow, just fishes it off of his body.
Oh dear, oh dear. Oh God.
He's like standing either side. He holds it out and kind of kneels. And he's like, I will help you reclaim your home.
Oh God.
You've done so much to help all of the others. And you've helped me. That says Nora.
This dude's kneeling in front of you.
God, I don't know what to do.
He's so loyal and beautiful.
Shit! I shouldn't have said anything. The whole thing got interrupted, and I should have just left it at that. I'm just shit. Just accept it. I will just so he's kneeling. You said he's holding his what in front of what?
His bow. His long bow that he keeps usually strapped across his chest. He's fished that off and he's holding it in both hands and he offers it.
I'll put my hands, I guess, both of his hands are out like this?
Both of his, there, he's clasping it.
Okay, I'll just put my hands, like, over his, I guess. And then I'll just kind of nod and, I'll say, you are my own. Oh, no, stop! Shut up! I was gonna say something like that, shit! I'll say, I don't, as much as returning to my old home would be nice, I found a new home in my new friends, and that's more than enough for me.
He looks up and smiles. You can see his tusks poking.
No!
just barely peeking out. He smiles and he says, "Then I'll make sure that this home never leaves."
Every time you just make him deeper in love with you.
Fuck! And I'll just I'll nod and I'll say,
He stands up.
I will as well. And
pulls his things back onto his shoulder and he says, "Sleep well."
Thank you. And I will go back into my room, close the door, and just be like, Oscar Love. What? I'm sorry. I need to look for that book in the library. Just kidding.
Yeah, you think Citron would have something like that in his library?
Oh, don't be fooled by wizards.
Dirty wizards.
Dirty wizards.
With all their tricks. I'm going
You
to curl up in the very center, and I just have all the pillows around me, and then I just crush one
They're
of
all of the pillows. And they're different thicknesses, different firm, different soft. And just
I get the thickest, most not squishy one, like the firmest one, and I just
like the Little Mermaid, you sink into one of the pillows and you take the other and you squish it. And night crawls across. You all drift off into slumber.